The roar of a V8 engine is more than just sound. It's American automotive history written in metal and fire. These legendary power plants didn't just move vehicles. They shaped entire generations of automotive culture. Today, we're counting down the absolute greatest V8 engines ever to emerge from American factories. These aren't just any engines. These are the ones that changed everything. Starting at number 10, we have the Dodge 392 Hemi V8 from 1957. This massive powerhouse laid the foundation for Mopar's dominance in American performance. The 392 cubic inch engine was revolutionary for its time, featuring hemispherical combustion chambers that maximized airflow and combustion efficiency. What made this engine truly special was its versatility. While stock versions powered luxury Chryslers with smooth delivery, modified versions dominated drag strips across America. The distinctive design allowed for larger valves and better breathing, creating an engine that could handle incredible amounts of horsepower. While its production run lasted only 2 years, the 392's impact extended far beyond its time, with many original engines still powering classic dragsters today. Modern Dodge vehicles pay homage to this legend with their contemporary 392 engines, carrying forward a legacy of pure American muscle. At number 9, we find the engine that started the muscle car revolution, the Oldsmobile Rocket 88 V8. Debuting in 1949, this overhead valve V8 was a game-changer that transformed American performance. Oldsmobile's engineers created something special by pairing this powerful engine with the lightweight 88 body. The combination of high compression ratios and advanced overhead valve design made the Rocket 88 the undisputed king of performance in its era. The engineering was groundbreaking. Its overhead valve design allowed for higher compression ratios and better breathing than flathead engines of the time. This innovation resulted in an engine that produced 1 horsepower per cubic inch, a remarkable achievement for the era. The Rocket 88 dominated NASCAR in the early 1950s, winning 20 out of 40 races in 1950 alone. Its success forced other manufacturers to develop their own overhead valve V8s, setting off an arms race that would define American performance for decades to come. Rolling in at number 8 is the Pontiac 455 V8. Introduced in 1970, this big block monster turned the GTO and Trans Am into legends of the street. What made the 455 special wasn't just its massive displacement, it was the engine's incredible torque production. In its Super Duty configuration, this engine produced enough torque to intimidate virtually anything else on the road. The engineering behind the 455 was focused on low-end power, with unique cylinder head designs and intake manifolds that prioritized torque over peak horsepower. The result was an engine that could launch a heavy muscle car with shocking efficiency. The 455's distinctive exhaust note became the soundtrack of the early 1970s muscle car scene, and its durability meant many of these engines survived decades of hard use. But while Pontiac was flexing its muscle, another manufacturer was pushing the boundaries of displacement even further. Number 7 brings us to the Cadillac 500 V8, the largest displacement engine ever installed in a production passenger car. This 500 cubic inch behemoth wasn't built for the drag strip. Instead, it was engineered to deliver smooth, effortless power in Cadillac's luxury vehicles. The engineering behind this engine focused on refinement, creating a V8 that could move nearly 3 tons of luxury car with the sophistication expected of a Cadillac. The 500's design prioritized smooth power delivery and reliability over maximum performance, featuring innovations like hydraulic valve lifters and advanced cooling systems. Despite its focus on luxury, the 500 V8 was capable of producing impressive power when called upon, with some modified versions making their way into the drag racing scene. If you're fascinated by these legendary engines that shaped automotive history, hit subscribe now for weekly deep dives into American muscle. At number 6, we have the Buick 455 V8. Don't let the similar displacement to the Pontiac fool you. This was a completely different animal. Buick's engineers took a unique approach, creating an engine that was relatively lightweight for its size while producing staggering amounts of low-end torque. The secret lay in its thin wall casting technique, which reduced weight without sacrificing strength. When installed in vehicles like the GSX, this engine turned Buick's luxury image on its head, proving that refined power could also be brutal when necessary. The 455's unique cylinder head design and intake manifold configuration created a torque monster that could outperform many of its higher horsepower competitors. In Stage 1 form, this engine produced an incredible 510 pound-feet of torque, numbers that would be impressive even by today's standards. Now we're entering the realm of true legends, engines that didn't just power vehicles, they revolutionized American automotive culture. At number 5, we find the Ford 5-liter Coyote V8. Since its introduction in 2011, this engine has redefined what a modern V8 can be. The Coyote's architecture represents a perfect fusion of traditional American V8 muscle and cutting-edge technology. With its dual overhead cam design and variable valve timing, this engine can scream to 7,000 RPM while still delivering the low-end torque that Ford customers demand. The high-flow cylinder heads, advanced direct injection system, and plasma-transferred wire arc cylinder liners all contribute to its remarkable efficiency. In the latest Mustang GT, the Coyote produces remarkable power without sacrificing daily drivability. What makes this engine truly special is its upgradability. With basic modifications, these engines can easily produce over 700 horsepower while maintaining reliability. Even in stock form, the third-generation Coyote demonstrates remarkable thermal efficiency and power density that would have seemed impossible just a decade ago. The number 4 position belongs to the Chevrolet LS Series V8. Launched in 1997, the LS Series became the cornerstone of modern performance. The genius of the LS design lies in its simplicity: a lightweight aluminum block, efficient cylinder head design, and a cam-and-block layout that keeps the engine compact. The cathedral port cylinder heads revolutionized airflow dynamics, while the deep skirt block design provided exceptional rigidity. This combination created what many consider the perfect engine for swapping into virtually anything with an engine bay. From drift cars to desert racers, the LS has powered them all. The basic architecture is so sound that even entry-level versions can handle significant power increases with minimal modifications. The LS platform's versatility is demonstrated by its use in everything from Corvettes to work trucks, with specialized versions making over 1,000 horsepower in factory trim. But long before the LS became the king of engine swaps, another engine earned the title of America's most feared racing engine. Coming in at number 3 is the legendary Chrysler 426 Hemi V8. This monster emerged in 1964 and quickly dominated both NASCAR and drag racing. The nickname Elephant wasn't just about its size. It referred to both its massive power output and physical dimensions. The 426 Hemi's hemispherical combustion chambers allowed for massive valves and optimal combustion, creating power numbers that seemed impossible in the 1960s. The cross-bolted main bearing caps and forged steel crankshaft made these engines nearly indestructible in racing applications. In factory form, these engines were severely underrated at 425 horsepower. In reality, they produced well over 500 horsepower in street trim, with race versions capable of nearly double that figure. The legacy of the 426 Hemi continues today, with original engines commanding astronomical prices among collectors. The runner-up spot, number 2, goes to the Ford 427 SOHC Cammer V8. This engine was Ford's nuclear option in the 1960s horsepower wars. The single overhead cam design was so advanced that NASCAR banned it before it could turn a single competitive lap. The Cammer represented the peak of Ford's engineering capabilities, with exotic features like timing chains over 6 feet long and massive cylinder heads that looked more appropriate for racing boats than cars. The unique valve train design allowed for unprecedented valve control at high RPM, while the reinforced block could handle power levels that would destroy lesser engines. While its NASCAR career was over before it began, the 427 SOHC found its true calling in drag racing, where it dominated the competition with power outputs exceeding 600 horsepower in factory trim. If you're enjoying this journey through V8 history, now's the perfect moment to join our community of automotive enthusiasts by hitting the subscribe button. And finally, at number 1, we have the most influential V8 ever created, the Chevrolet 350 small block. Since 1967, this engine has powered everything from family sedans to race cars, proving itself as the most versatile V8 ever built. The 350's success comes from its perfect combination of size, power potential, and reliability. The 4-bolt main bearing caps, forged steel crankshaft, and efficient cooling system design made these engines virtually bulletproof. The simple design made it easy to work on, while its robust construction could handle massive power increases. The engine's compact external dimensions and lightweight design made it perfect for nearly any application. Even today, fresh 350 crate engines are still being produced, testament to the fundamental soundness of its design. From hot rods to circle track racers, no other engine has influenced American car culture more profoundly than the 350 small block. But the story of American V8s isn't over. With modern technology pushing the boundaries of what's possible, the next generation of legendary V8s is already being developed. The only question is, which one will earn its place on this list in the future?